Hello everyone, my name is Patricia. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my Non-Scentsy wax empties for the month. This includes things like candles, retail, and vendor wax. If you are a Scentsy only person, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, click on out and I will see you next time. But anyway, here's my bin. So I got through a lot of things this month. So I basically concentrated on kind of like finishing up spring and summer scents as best I could. So it seems like there's a lot of kind of floral, fresh air scents. And also I had a lot of peach, apricot, mango kind of things going on. So I'm going to go through the candles first, and we will do that first. So I got through 7 candles this month, and we're going to start with one from Michael's, which is this Ashland Freshwater Pearl Candle. This is a 17-ounce candle. It retails for, I believe, $8 in Canada, but I think it was on sale for $5 and then later $4. This is a really floral, freshwater scent. More floral to me, a really strong thrower, and I didn't really have too much issues with soot, maybe just one little area of soot right here. But the burn, it did struggle somewhat. The wick inside, as you can see, it's a little bit buried because what happened was I ended up putting it on the melter towards the latter part because I wanted to get the last little bit of scent out of it. But the wick was slightly off center, and it also had a curve, so I fought that the whole way. Basically, it was a little bit of residue and tunneling along the sides, and sometimes I did tinfoil it just to help things along. But even despite those issues, the babysitting, this candle was worth it. I really enjoyed this candle. And I do have 2 other Ashland candles that I picked up, and they are vanilla based candles, and I will let you know how they do in upcoming months as I burn them. Okay, let's do Bath and Body Works next. I went through 2 Bath and Body Works candles. The first one is coconut water. And this one here, we don't get scent notes in Canada, but I have written down the scent notes are coconut milk, creamy vanilla, and pineapple. So this one did okay. The strength and throw was maybe a medium at best because it's not a very strongly scented candle. But yes, you do get the coconut and the vanilla, maybe a hint of pineapple. I did have to cotton ball it one time right in the middle, and then I didn't have any issues before or after that. Maybe just the slightest smokiness picked up, not kerosene, but just a very slight smoky smell. I would not repurchase this, but I am glad I picked it up. The next Bath and Body Works candle is Paris Cafe Bouquet. This is a really interesting candle. It's kind of a combination of espresso beans, tuberose, and bergamot zest. So coffee and florals, which is a strange combination. This is very, very strong. It filled up my open concept space, no problem. Very strong thrower. There were times when I really, really liked this candle, and then times where I wasn't sure if I liked this candle. So I would not repurchase it. But right around the taxi mark, I did have to cotton ball it one time, and then I did not have any issues with it before or after that. So that's that. Let's do DW Home. So this is, I think it's 8.6 ounces, and it is Palm Breeze. It's got a cork lid, and it's a very thick glass. It's a heavy candle for its size. This is a coconut wax blend, and I really, really like the packaging. This was originally $12.99 in Canada. I picked it up. It kept getting marked down, so I picked it up when it was $5. It is it's a light scent, kind of like a soft, dewy green scent. I picked it up mainly because it reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on what it reminds me of. So now that the candle's over, I don't think I'm ever going to figure it out. But with DW Home, a couple things. I usually don't have any problems with their throw. This was a lightly scented candle, so the throw obviously would be light, but I find you do have to keep the wicks trimmed super short because they tend to soot. Now this one here, let's see, right here, you can kind of see a little bit of sooting, but the rest of the candle wasn't so bad. But keep the wicks trimmed, and usually it's fine, and sometimes I balance an Aluma-Lid on the top just to help things along. Okay, I got through my very first wood wick candle. This one is made by Wood Essence and is called Apple Grove. And I do not have the scent notes, but this one was kind of like an apple orchard, like a little bit of woodsy, but mostly fresh apples. No spice per se. It was more of a fresh apple scent. I kind of liked the crackling effect of the wood wick. My husband, he would complain, but I just ignored him. I didn't really care if he liked it or not, because I liked it. So this one here burned very well. Now what happened was I lit this thing, and man, oh man, the throw was very intense at the beginning. And then as you go down the candle, it does kind of pick up a tiny bit of smokiness, and I think I've heard that happens with a lot of wood wick candles. Now with this particular scent, it melted really nice together, so I didn't mind that. But I do have a couple wood wick brand candles that I'm a little nervous that they pick up smokiness, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I got through 2 medium Yankee candles. Now I pick up my Yankee candles at a drugstore here in Atlanta, Canada, and what they often do is there's certain stores, I mean, they mark them down 50%, and then that 50% off sticker, they mark that down sometimes 40%. So if I keep an eye on the deals, I can find some good deals. So my medium jars usually run just a tiny bit over $9, and here in Canada, that's excellent. So the first one I went through was Beach Walk. And Beach Walk, I will read you the scent description. It says, refreshing salt water and sea musk warmed with sunny notes of tangerine and orange blossom. And this was a really soft, very, very soft blue wax and a very soft scent. I would say strength and throw was 3, maybe 4 out of 10. In the middle area, it did kick up a bit, maybe 5 or 6, and then again went back down. Now I did I did melt 2 votives alongside, and it just kind of supplemented the scent a little bit. Now what I did was, as it basically self-extinguished right around here, and I wanted to see if I could get any more scent of it, so I put it on the melter, and then I just tried to pour most of the wax out because I didn't want to do that again. The other interesting thing was this one had a ton of oil in the bottom, and one time after it fully cooled, I decided to lay it on its side one night, and then in the morning I checked it, and all the oils had pooled down with gravity here. So I opened it up and I pushed on the wax, and the oils like gushed out. It was crazy. I couldn't believe the gush. And it kind of reminded me, the first thing I thought was, that's like when you were a kid and you chewed that soft gum. It was like a pinkish red color, and then inside there was like a really strong red, almost like juicy syrup or something, and you bit into it, and anyway, it kind of reminded me of that. But Beach Walk. This was a 2015 pour. One of my favorites for the month. Everything here, including Scentsy, was Yankee Candle's Peach Cobbler. Now, I will read you the scent description. This one says, peaches from the farmer's market, perfectly baked with cinnamon and honey sugar. Just a tiny bit of cinnamon. So if you don't like cinnamon, don't be afraid of this candle. Oh man, and the honey sugar is really nice. The peaches, everything is really nice. This is 2014. I don't know if I mentioned that. The problem was, you know how like burn was great, no issues, a very, very minimal sooting, if any. But right around here I had to blow it out, and then the next morning when I lit it, you know how it happens, you're at that critical junction, you light it, and then the wick just kind of duds out immediately, and then you're stuck. So I was a little disappointed. I suppose I could put it on the melter, and I probably will to get, to pour the wax out so I can recycle the jar. But yes, and what I did was, that one was maybe 6.5, 7 easily, consistently the whole way. And, it takes a while to burn through Yankees. So when I would add tarts throughout my open concept space, and it was terrific. No problem with the scent at all. So I think I went through 6 tarts over the course of that candle. I actually picked up more at my, killer deal place. And they also had votives. So what I decided to do was cut a votive in half and try that. And in comparison, I found the votive cut in half throughout my warmers, they did not do as well as the tarts. So, and it did not smell as strong. So anyway, I just don't know if anybody else has had that experience or not. Let's move on to the retail wax. So in Canada, we have, I'm going to talk quickly about this because I don't really like this, but just in case anybody from Canada picks this up, it is Everyday Essentials Vanilla Bean. Now this brand, the packaging is not very good. So it comes out like this. There's like a sleeve, and then this crappy packaging. So I do not recommend you pick these up. And I did pick up a candle in that company, and it was a good candle, but I didn't really like the wax melts. Didn't like the packaging, and I didn't really find the wax melts worked very well. So with Walmart, let's go on our little sensationals. Well, actually, I do have a Mainstays. We'll do that first. Mainstays Peach Mango. These are the thin cubes. They're slightly soft, 1.25 ounces. You have to use a couple of cubes at least. This was a good scent, not a standout. It actually had a slight jelly consistency in the warmer, which I've never experienced from Mainstays before, so I'm not sure if it was this particular scent or the fact that the air conditioning might have done that. The next ones are all from Sensationals. We have Ginger Peach Spritz. Terrific scent, very light. I had to double up on the cubes and it did not last very long. The next one we have is Love Letters. This one is hard to describe. It's kind of like an antiques shop scent, like that, you know, when the petals, like pressed petals in books, or like lace and musk and vanilla and a little bit of perfume note. It's really nice. I might pick up more of this, I'm not sure. Maybe if I do just one. Okay, last month I went through a Tiptoe Tulips. I hated it last month and I hated this one as well. Very strong floral, like a green note and a pollen note. Oh, I think what happened was I got suckered in because I loved the picture, and the wax was a beautiful yellow. And sometimes my kids also pick out things, and I think my son might have picked this one out. And sometimes he likes everything, and sometimes the ones he picks out, they're not the greatest, but I do not like the Tiptoe Tulips. This one here is Cinnamon Apples. This one came out in, I believe, the spring and summer, but it's really more of a fall scent. Very, you know, apples and cinnamon, kind of a generic scent. Wasn't my favorite, but if you wanted to pick it up just to give it a try, you know, it's fairly inexpensive, so you could do that. I picked up Island Mango Coconut. This is a kind of tropical melon scent. Basically a lot of watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, maybe whatever this white melon is. Yeah, this one wasn't very strong and it didn't last very long. My husband one time, he said, I bought this weird melon for him, and I think it was whatever this white melon is. If you know what that is, please comment below. But he said, don't ever buy that melon again. It sucked. He said it had no flavor. He said it was like chewing water. So anyway, let's see. Also, a couple kind of fresh air scents from Sensationals. This one is called Fresh Air, and it is hard to pinpoint what fresh air is. But fresh air is kind of, in my opinion, the scent is kind of like a light perfume type, you know, vibrant scent. Not very strong, just a nice pleasant background. If you wanted to try something that you didn't want to make it obvious to people that you had wax melts going in your home, this might be a good one to try. Probably not a repurchase for me just because I have so much wax, but you know, it was pleasant. Not very strong though. Coast to Coast. This is basically a little bit more, not cologne, but a little bit more rich. A bit of coconut in there, a bit of fresh water, cologne type scent. It was all right. I know that it comes in value packs, so it probably does very well for Sensations. Okay, so that wraps up the retail wax. I will go over something that I use for the diffuser. This is from a company called Therawell. This one, it came in a 4-pack. They all had different scents, and this one is Stress Relief. And it annoyed me, so I don't know if it was good for the stress relief. Because what happened was, there was oil left in the bottom, and the design of the dropper was such that you could not get it out of the dropper, and I've never experienced that with Scentsy. So, but what I had to do was pry out the little thing on the top, and then get the oil out that way. And I still have 3 other scents to go. This I picked up in Winners. So I would probably just stick with Scentsy from now on, but you know, I think I had a gift card and I wanted to give it a try. It's nice. I tend to warm things and, you know, diffuse things, and sometimes I pick the ones that I like the least and go through those first. I don't know if anybody else does that. It's just me. Okay, let's go to vendor wax. Okay, so I do have a few things, and I will try to go through them quickly. I have Fundy Treasures, which is from Nova Scotia, down kind of in a remote area of Nova Scotia, and I picked this up at a big show they have in Halifax each year called Saltscapes. And she had a table set up, and I picked up four in total. This one is Satsuma, which is a very strong citrus scent, and it was good. Didn't last as long. I find vendor wax, kind of dies off quickly, but it's fairly intense. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about soy wax. I'm kind of figuring out that I do not love soy wax. It's very messy and crumbly, but obviously I think it's a little bit better for the environment. However, it's a very tricky. It has like a sweet spot for what temperature it works best at, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But I find that if you put it in a warmer, say like a 25 watt mainstays warmer, or even the Ashland 24 watt, it's almost too hot. It kind of cooks the oil, and it just, you don't get a good throw. So I've been having better luck with the 15 watt Glade warmer. So I think that's kind of like a middle ground. So I've been going with that. So next month my goal is to kind of warm a lot of soy wax, because I don't want it to kind of lose its scent. And also I just want to kind of get through it. And I think if I had the choice of companies to buy from that was pure soy or not, I would pick the one that was more of a blend. Yes, I think that's all I have to say about that. Oh, one more thing. This company, the owner, basically I contacted her and asked her scent notes for one of her scents that I couldn't pick up what was in the scent. She messaged me back with the scent notes, and then a couple months later kind of re-messaged me back, asked me what I had thought of the wax, and I was a little bit embarrassed because I hadn't even warmed it yet. I have so much wax that, So I thought I better get on that and start warming her wax. And just in case she contacts me again. Okay, let's stick with Canada for a little bit. We have two more clamshells from Tallulah Poe. She's based out of Ottawa. The owner is really, really nice. I would check out their company. The first one is Make a Splash. This is Juicy Pear, Salty Sea Air, and Mint. Now, I'm not a huge lover of salty sea air, and living on the east coast of Canada, you'd think I would love it, but this one was a light scent, and the salty sea air part was not too strong, so I liked this quite a bit, and I do love mint scents, and I do love pear. However, this was one of the lightest throwers that I've experienced from her, and it didn't last a long time. So, it was confined here to the bedroom, and if it was still available, I would not repurchase that one. A really strong performer was Ocean Avenue. And every time I see Ocean Avenue, it makes me think of that song, Electric Avenue. We're going to rock down to Electric Avenue. Anyway, Coastal Florals, Warm Sand and Sea Spray. This one was really strong, very strong white floral. I had this one going at the same time as my Ashland candle, and they complemented each other really nicely. And my youngest son, he's 6, he came downstairs and he said to me, in a very serious voice, he said, "Mom, I don't know what you've got going on in that warmer, but it smells so good down here." And I just think it's so cute when, they're so serious and they're trying to have an adult conversation about something. Anyway, so cute. So Ocean Avenue, it's sold out now. It recently sold out on her site, but perhaps she will bring it back next year. Very nice, that one. Okay. Let's get this one out of the way. This one is She Loves Cake Beachside Carnival, which is ice cream scoop bread. What is it? Caramel corn and salty sea air. The salty sea air should be blown up into huge font. This, I'm going to be a little bit negative here, and I don't mean anything against the vendor, because I've had other things from this vendor that were terrific. But I don't know how this passed test. This is so strong on the salty sea air, like so strong on the salty, and it clashes with the other ingredients in this blend. I don't know, it almost reminds me of something going bad. I did pick this up on a D-stash, and I'm hoping that maybe other people have had this and it's been good, and something, just went wrong with mine. But anyway, I'm really not sure how I made it through that, because it was really probably one of the most, just a big turn off when you smell it. I think I mixed it with something, and that's the only way I got through it. I probably should have just discarded it, but I don't like throwing things out. So anyway, from Super Tarts, we have Get Out of the Water. And this one, with Super Tarts, sometimes they get a little soft on the bottom. Now, this one is basically strawberry jam and Jaws. And I have not tried Jaws on its own, This one I put down in my open concept space, and it held its own there. I had 1 cube left and I warmed it in this room, maybe a little too strong for a small room, so it would not be a repurchase for me. And just in case you don't know, Jaws is sea salt, fresh air, seagrass, sliced plum, and sweet pear. Okay, from Zape, I have something called Helium, which is cotton candy, fruity pebbles, and fizzy soda. This one was really enjoyable. I really like this one. If I don't know if Zape ships to Canada, but if it did, I might pick up more of this. I had this going alongside Saltwater Taffy Yankee Candle, and they were nice together. And let's just go through the odds and ends quickly. This video is going to be long. Okay, from Mandela Melts, I have a little scent shot. This one is called Wilma. It was poured in, let's see if we can pick that up. Probably not. February 2018. This is Captain Crunch, berries, and watermelon. Now, when I picked this up in the spring from a D-stash, it was super strong, like really, really strong. Then I opened it up recently and checked it out, and it had definitely lost scent. So I'm really not sure, like the lid's on strong. I don't know about these. They're very, I don't know if scent leaks out of these for some other people or not. But anyway, I decided to put in my warmer. Unfortunately, it did not perform the greatest, not a great scent throw. Now, I haven't had the greatest experience with Mandela Melts, but all the items I've picked up were from D-stashes, so I do have an order coming that I placed myself, and until I kind of get my own order and kind of use it and store it my own way, I'm not going to, kind of say what I think of that company, but if it's Canadian, obviously I'm hoping it does well. So in Nova Scotia, there's a place called the Lily Pad down in Bridgewater, and they had a show, they were in one of the little craft shows, so I picked up a bunch of old tarts. And please, if something's really old, don't buy it, because none of these had great scent throw, so I'm going to just skim over them quickly. Island Mango, Pomegranate, and Bananas Foster. They were all fairly light. I would say light to medium at best. But I did pick up 4 clamshells the same time I picked up all those tarts. And the 4 clamshells, I've warmed through almost one of her clamshells, and that one seems to be doing better. So those were like recent pours kind of thing. So let's stick with Canada. We'll get through Canada quickly. From Make Sense Candles, I went through 3 items. I went through Beach Hammock, which is citrus, fruits, melons, and apples. That was okay. It was a sample. Thank you very much for the sample. I went through Dunn's River Falls, and this one is jasmine, violets, and vanilla. And I got married in Jamaica, so I wanted to try this. And this was probably the lightest throw I've had so far from her, but I really, really like her wax. Now, this was when the mom was in charge, and I think she's kind of passed things along to her daughter. So things are being done a little bit differently. Shapes are changing, packaging is changing, and the daughter seems to be a little bit more involved with the Facebook kind of thing. So I would check out their Facebook group. And the third one is Mango Sorbet, which is mangoes, lemons, and raspberries. Ashley had asked me how this one performed, so I thought I'll dig it out and warm it because it kind of went along with my theme anyway. And this one did fairly well. Definitely held its own in my open concept space, and I enjoyed it. I might repurchase this next year, but yeah, it did fine. I really, I have nothing bad to say about that, that's for sure. Okay, from Vapid, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, I went through 2 things. This was a sample in Cranberry Orange. Basically, they have a lot of scent notes with their wax. It is orange, satsuma, yuzu, tangerine, cranberry, peach, cinnamon, and clove. And this was fairly light. Her lemon bars, which is like a lemon bakery scent. A lot of things, again, lemon juice, peel, bergamot, pecans, buttery almonds, sugary sweet milk, sugar cookies, and powdered sugar. I think they should just try to condense the scent notes to the main top 3 notes, but that's just me. That was pretty good. Nothing to write home about. It was solid. From Sassy Girl, I picked this up on a D-stash. This was like a tile, and I cut it into 4 parts. This was a cotton candy, red delicious apple, birthday cake whipped cream. So this reminded me a little bit of, say, if you took from Scentsy, if you took like Johnny Appleseed and maybe added Happy Birthday to it, something like that, or even like some pink haze. Kind of reminded me what you'd probably get similar. And the thing with apple scents in general is they don't last terribly long time in my experience. From L3 Waxy Wonders, I have Bonsai Bamboo. And this was a huge sample, and so I put it in my bonus room on a 20-watt Yankee hot plate. The throw on this was crazy. It was so strong I could smell it downstairs, and it was strong to the point where it was almost overbearing. But then it kind of died down after a while. So my bonus room is kind of upstairs and down a hall. So yeah, the throw on this was great. I do find that her wax performs well in my home. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much, almost like the color she uses stains my dishes quite a bit. So that would be my only thing that I don't like. And I did recently pick up an order, and I don't know if I'm going to make a video of it or not. Let's see. If you want one, let me know. Probably one of my favorites for the month, a really soft bedroom, warm, cozy feeling type scent from Kay's Creation was Satin Sheets. Now these were 75 cents, scallop tarts, and they were 23 grams, which is about 3/4 of an ounce, I believe. Anyway, these are great. I think I have maybe 2 or 3 more, or maybe even 4, I'm not sure. But Kay's Creations, she is basically kind of stopping her wax melt business. She is selling off the rest of her inventory, and I believe using up her oils, and a lot of things she doesn't have the oils for, it's no longer available. But check out her site in case there's something there. You might get a good deal, and you might be able to find something that you enjoy. So I'd like to thank you for spending the last 26 minutes with me. It's a long one, and I'm sorry if I took so long to go through, but sometimes I was off this month, so I felt like I got through a little bit more than normal. And I will see you next month where we will have, I'm trying to use up a lot of samples. So I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.